Hi there, I'm Brandon. Kind of at the request of some friends and former colleagues, I thought I would just put together a video walking through my custom scoring system that I've built over the years and have installed in a number of client and employer HubSpot platforms. Let me close this out. It's distracting to see myself. The genesis of this HubSpot score field can be really difficult to manage. As you add criteria to it, it gets really unwieldy. It's hard to do like offline activities like trade show, booth scans, and it's hard to decay points in here. And one of the things that I've always wanted is like give me 1 point per page view. So if someone has like 11 page views, they get 11 points. Can't really do that with this field. Like you have to have a fairly rigid set of criteria for it. That being said, this works just fine if you just need like some basic structure here, a couple of form conversions equals an MQL. Like that's what this is good for. So basically, I figured out that I couldn't use that. So I started using numeric fields, and you can see, some of those here, just a numeric field where we add points and decrement points pretty much through workflows based on the type of marketing channel. And what I figured out there is, the way that you add points and the way that you decay points differs pretty dramatically based on the marketing channel. So the latest evolution of this is a number of numeric fields that each represent a marketing channel. So this is like a demo portal. You can see some sample data in here. You can see where like I've got an email score, and this is where we add points based on like emails clicked, or we decay points based on the last time that someone clicked an email. Content score, whenever someone fills out a form requesting content, we add points there and take them off there after 90 days have passed since their last form conversion. Contact score, chat, ads, page views. So this is primarily around like key page views. So I took all of those, and they all have unique workflows for adding and decaying points. So just to look at like the webinar score here, I've got a list that basically whenever someone requests a webinar, or they'll also come onto this list if the last time they requested a webinar was, let's say, 90 days ago. So it's all triggered based off of a date stamp that I built that's part of this field. Anytime you sign up for a webinar, you're going to get that date stamp stamped. And then after 90 days, if you don't have any more webinar, if that date hasn't been updated, then all of those points will go away. So you can see in here where if that webinar request is today, then we're going to add 20 points to them. And then if 90 days or 60 days, whatever that may be, is when that date becomes past that 90 days range, then it's going to come in here and it's just going to set that score to 0. So I'm adding and decaying based primarily on the nature of this channel. The other part of this one that you don't see here is if I wanted to MQL people that came to my webinar, I could do that with the webinar score in the workflow for that webinar. Lots of fields with lots of unique scoring functions. This field is how we add it all up. I call it engagement score, and it's really just a big formula using all of those scores. You can see we're not necessarily all of them are in here. Maybe we're not using ads, or you're not using the chat score yet, but you can add and subtract fields in here as you want. The thing that I like about this is earlier I mentioned being able to add 1 point for one page view. And this is really the only way that you can do that. HubSpot has this number of page views field, and it's a numeric field. So basically, this is a way of getting a point per page view. So I've got all my points here through my individual marketing channels. And then this is just going to be whatever that number of page views is, we can add that on top. You can build these numeric fields for whatever you want. If you wanted there's number of ads clicked, number of webinars attended. Some of HubSpot has some of these, but you can also build your own and include that in a formula. So the downside here is you can't decay. Like this number will never go down. And that's just something that you have to be okay with. I personally, I'm not worried about decaying. What I'm more interested in is eventually these scores will go away. But if someone is like engaging in, let's say, over email, and maybe they're not necessarily going to a lot of webinars, I'm okay with that. Like, this is basically a way of accounting for people's channels coming and going and people interacting the way that they want. So one other note on this is you can take one thing that I like to do is be able to take a company property and basically summarize all of the engagement scores of the individual, the contacts that are associated to it. So now you're able to, make some educated guesses on the engagement level across a company. So if I get, let's say an example here would be 5 people that sign up for the same webinar, each one of them will have 20 points, but 100 points will appear for the company. So you can see where like this person's points almost come entirely from page views, whereas this person, they've only got 10 page views, but they filled out a contact us form. So they've got a good hybrid score there. The majority of these that are over 50 have come from just filling out the contact us fields. That's kind of how it works at the most base level. There's a lot more you can do with it. I'm happy to walk anyone through it that wants to. Just reach out to me, and we can talk scoring all day. Thanks for making it this far, and I appreciate you.